as a church, we celebrate when God brings someone to us, and we celebrate when God allows us to send somebody away, to send someone out. And so, Chase and Holly, would you guys come to the stage? I think I'll just use my phone. Thank you, Jordan. Oh, that's pretty good. Wrote some notes, and I'll send this out via email and on Facebook today. But I mean that. That's our heart. We really do celebrate when God and His Spirit sends somebody to us, especially amazing people like this. And we celebrate when He gives us the opportunity to send people out. And so with excitement, with much sadness, we want to share that Chase and Holly, the Merrells, they have accepted a new position at a church in the Pacific Northwest. And we're excited for that. And they'll get to share in a second. They've served our church for over 5 years. 5 years. Different roles. Youth pastors, young adult pastors. Most recently, Chase has been the executive pastor of one church, and Holly's been the connection pastor. Next to Marcia and I, they are the longest tenured full-time pastors at one church. Hard to believe that. They have loved, they've ministered to so many of us who attend all different campuses with our one church family. Their impact truly has been church-wide. So about 2 months ago, we celebrated 5 years of ministry with them here on June 12th. Their ministry here at one church. We forecasted their sabbatical, which our church is so gracious to give to pastors after they complete 5 years of ministry. And our congregation, we gave generously in an offering to bless the Merrells during their time away. A few days later, didn't see this coming, a few days later, 10 days before they left for their sabbatical, a pastor called Marcia and I, without yet calling Chase and Holly, hadn't called them yet to ask or even begin the conversation. He called us to ask for our blessing, for him to reach out to them. And we've always felt that God's leading us as leaders and as a church to be open-handed with people, most importantly people, but the resources He's given us. And so with willingness, we encourage the pastor to call them. Chase and Holly were not looking for opportunities. They were surprised by this, by its timing, to say the least. And we've always encouraged the staff to pray when an opportunity comes their way, if God might be in it. And so we said, go for it. And there began a 10-day process. I'm just cutting to, a lot of time here, but I want you to know. There began a 10-day process of all of us trying to figure out how to navigate on many fronts, with a heart for people and all parties involved, how to value the Merrells and this other pastor in church and where they were at, how to honor the heart of a sabbatical season, and the church, our church here, and the many people who sowed into it make it possible. And so most importantly, beyond all that, we were concerned with how do we honor God, and how do we be most concerned with what He thinks, what His will is in the process like this. So the timing of it all has been very unconventional. Chase and Holly were deeply concerned with its impression about how our church family might feel. They were perplexed as to why the Lord would put this in front of them on the eve of their sabbatical, and which they were desperately needing for just renewal and just health, just ready for that. So after seeking the Lord, after talking with Marty Villa, who's one of our board of directors and serves as our sabbatical coach, all the parties felt it was the best decision, if possible, was to pause the process for a month so that the Merrells could carry out their plan for the sabbatical and receive from the Lord all that He had intended. And this, again, may seem counterintuitive organizationally or from a management perspective. I mean, this doesn't make sense, but we felt like this was more about family than about business or ministry. And we are most concerned with how to take care of Chase and Holly. And so for a month, they disconnected from ministry and from the interview process. And I know you guys had an incredible sabbatical, and God moved in your lives. Yeah. And when they returned this last week, we again encouraged them to continue in the process to discern how God was leading them. This week, after a lot of dialogue and prayer with us, with the other church, Chase and Holly felt confirmation that God was leading them onto this new place. I give you that little bit of extra information just because of who these folks are, who they are to us. and the uniqueness of this last season. I want to share how integrous, how honorable, and how considerate that Chase and Holly have been throughout this entire process. They really have been champions. And we're thrilled that God allowed us to invest into them, even in this most recent gift of a sabbatical. We're sending them out filled, not empty, renewed, and not depleted. August 27th will be their last Sunday, so it's not goodbye today. We've got 4 more weeks with them, and I know that they may be in Modesto a little bit longer, but that'll be their last Sunday. And Chase and I will be preaching together on that day, and so we've never done that before. So that's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss Sunday, August 27th. We're going to miss them an incredible amount as friends, as people, as pastors, who they are. We're going to miss you guys. But we're going to miss their incredible contribution to the kingdom here in the Central Valley. But I am so anticipating the incredible contribution to the kingdom of God, just in a different place. And I wanted to let them say a few words. And the good news is we get to talk in a few weeks, and that will help share a little bit. But as you talk, I just want, again, to say how much I love you, how much we love you, how much we love you. So go ahead.
We just deeply love our church and each one of you guys. We deeply, deeply love our pastors. And this has been the most difficult decision in our life to this point. And sometimes God speaks and it doesn't necessarily line up with what it makes sense on paper, or even the preferences that you have, the comforts that you enjoy, the friendships and the relationships. But it's something about when God makes something clear, you got to be obedient. So that's what this decision is for us. It's so hard because of the people. And we have a couple more weeks, but from the bottom of our hearts, thanks for letting us be a part of your lives. I know some of you have no idea who we are. You're just here for the first week. I'm sorry you're here. Come back, it'll get better. But for a lot of you in here, you've just let us in. You've loved us. Just had our backs, loved our son. This little guy coming at inconvenient timing. You've blessed us in our lives tremendously. This for us over the last 5 years has been a gift and something we can never express in words, what it means for us and who we are in our life and our future. And we just want you to know how much we love you, how hard this decision is for us because of you. And how excited we are that you're being led by seriously the 2 greatest human beings in our minds and in our hearts on the planet to lead this church and to lead this community to what the Lord has for it. And it's the right time to give it everything you got to be a part of what God's doing here. It's the right time to pour out more. It's the right time to invest your time, your talent, your treasure, your heart into what God is doing, because some powerful things are happening in this place, and I'm devastated to be leaving that, but also excited to know that the Lord's going to take care of all of those things and continue to pour out. So we love you. We love you. Thanks for walking with us through this process and loving us so well. Thank you for the sabbatical that you sent us on. Let me say from the bottom of our hearts, for those that contributed to that, what you did in our marriage, you deposited it into our marriage, and by doing that, you deposited into our future ministry and family. And we're going to be drawing from that time together over the last month that we had for the next 5 to 10 years. From that, it was an amazing gift from the Lord, and I can't express my gratitude in our heart for that gift that was given for us to be able to do that. We love you. And I'm excited that we're not leaving today. And we have a couple more weeks to be here, a part of what God's doing, and to spend time with people that we love. So, thank you.
And I just want to say that over the last 5 years, there has not been a shortage of opportunities for Pastors Chase and Holly to go somewhere else. Plenty of churches have called and plenty of people wanted them. And they've been so faithful to ask God, God, is this what you have? And on paper, all those opportunities looked really good. They made a lot of sense. And they just knew it wasn't right. And on paper, this one didn't necessarily make all the sense. And yet the Lord said, go. And I want you to know that because 2 reasons. One, you've got pastors who have waited to hear from the Lord. And if we trust God to speak to people to come, we've got to trust the Lord when he says he's moving them on. And just selfishly, I mean, I hate that you're leaving, but man, I cannot wait to see what God does over the next 5 years. You guys are the best. You're awesome. So.
I've cried all my tears the last 2 months or 6 weeks, however long it's been. So, and you know, I'm so looking forward to the 27th because I feel like that's when I get to share my heart and passion for you and for you. So, I think that's the announcement. It's like great service, and then now we figure out how to tie it all up. We will send them out and pray for them in a few weeks, but I just want you to know as your pastors how excited we are about the season that's coming. I feel like Chase said it so well. God is up to something. He's up to something, and though we are saying goodbye to some great people, it just comes at a significant time that I know that this is part of all the health and growth and excitement that is here and that's coming this fall. And so we don't approach this like, oh man, this is a massive loss. Relationally, yes, but this is an opportunity for the kingdom of God where they're going, and it's an opportunity for the kingdom of God here. I've been saying to people, hey, these are incredible, massive leaders. The void that they leave is big, but that void is an opportunity for people to step into. And that opportunity is great. That opportunity is great. And so I believe that. That is not lemonade out of lemons. That is what I believe.
That's right.
And so anyway, I love you all. Love you. Give them a hug. All right, God bless you. See you next Sunday.